lonely. I'm a boss, tell them not today. Swerving on these chickens, cluck out my lane. I'm a boss, out my way. I just do every little thing that I say.
Successfully chaotic.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
That came from a speaking engagement turned horrible.
Why?
It wasn't really that horrible, but I thought it was going to be really bad, and it was mediumly bad, if that's allowed to be a word.
You take what you can get.
Yeah,
Medium bad over terrible.
Mediumly bad, yeah. Whenever I seen the itinerary, I'm like, hey, 30 minutes of Q&A, and there's a typo on here, because I'm thinking like 10, 15 minutes, that's the longest, and that's really long.
Because you do speaking engagements all the time, right?
Yes, do speaking engagements, and I have never had a 30-minute Q&A session, but apparently what had happened is one of the speakers had pulled, and they were like, oh, Maria won't mind. Just
let her talk. Just let her go. It'll be great.
And I do like to talk. That's pretty well known. But to be asked personal questions by an audience for a while, that was a little...
For a half an hour?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little ruthless.
So I imagine, pretty quick that got a little off topic.
It got very off topic. Yeah, pretty much by the end of it, they knew everything but what color underwear I had on. I don't know. No, it wasn't a question. It could have been. I probably would have answered that too.
If somebody just stood up from the back.
Excuse me, I would like to know.
One last question in this 30-minute Q&A.
One last question.
So how did Successfully Chaotic come out of that?
Well, what ended up happening after I got up on stage and I ended up saying a whole bunch of really goofy, not businessly professional things. I went backstage and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am never working again. I might as well just my
career is over.
It's done, ended, done, fried. But a few days later, I ended up getting a call from this lady that was in the audience, and she was really interested in me doing some speaking engagements. So at first I was like, oh, okay, apparently I didn't come off as crazy as I thought I did. But no, it was actually the opposite. She was really interested in the crazy side. She liked the fact that I was super open and I wasn't uber professional, and the fact that I had no problem saying that even though I just got done speaking on productivity, that sometimes you can check every damn box on my list that I had off, and at the end of the day you can still fall flat on your face and it's just not going to work out. And I think that was refreshing because especially as women, and I'm not man hating here, but especially as women, we have this kind of internal rule that we have to check off all the boxes. We have to just do everything right, do everything perfect, and we're our own worst enemies on that. So I think the fact of having somebody else say, you know what, sometimes you check them all off and it will still suck, was okay, well, maybe it's just not me.
Yeah, just having somebody kind of vocalize that feeling. Yeah. And I know you're the type of person that, you have to be somebody tells you can't do something, you have to do it 3 times better.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You
really am. They're no, you can't. Maria, stop holding the microphone like that. And I'm like, oh. That's why there's no video. Anyway.
So from there, Successfully Chaotic, you decided...
Well, the whole idea behind the name was, I was sitting there thinking, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in, which is pretty well what I do anyway. If I'm in, I'm all
100%,
in.
No matter what it is.
Yeah, 100, more than that usually, and it doesn't matter. It's like balls to the walls, if I had them, but I don't. But that's another story for another day. Anyway, if I was in, I was going to be all in. So I was like, okay, well, if I get the freedom, which I'm not going to lie, it was super exciting to me to be pretty much no rules. Mm-hmm. No rules. That's there was angels singing. Part. Yeah. I was so happy. I was like, da da da. Yeah. So anyway, all these the angels with hearts came down and I was so happy. But anyway, I was like, okay, well, what is the goal here? The goal of it all was going to be okay, well, it's okay. It's okay if life is just chaotic, because life at a foundational level is complete chaos. And it doesn't matter how well you plan. It doesn't matter if your productivity is on point. It doesn't matter if you're doing everything amazingly. It's still life's going to get in the way. You're going to have the kid that projectile vomits from the back seat. You're going to, control. There is no controlling that crap. You're going to have a death. You're going to have these things that kind of creep up and happen that there's no way to plan for. Yeah. So, if you're still managing to be successful through it all, even if sometimes you're trudging through the chaos, sometimes if you're literally clawing your way back up to just a level ground, just to fall down the cliff and burst in the flames on the other side, and I say that from experience, just being, I guess, for lack of a better word, stubborn enough to not give up and to still just claw yourself back up again. I think that as a whole is why I wanted to do Successfully Chaotic. I wanted to say, you know what, be successful in the chaos.
Right, and it's all about finding what that success is like to you, right?
Exactly.
Success for different people is totally different.
Exactly. Defining your own success. Success for some people may be, getting your baby to sleep through the night. Success for some people may be, finishing the college degree. Success for some people may be getting that job you've been wanting to get. I mean, there's no right or wrong for success. It's just managing to define your success and to be able to reach it and obtain it no matter what goes on in life.
Right. And so you're like a serial entrepreneur at this point, right?
Yeah, that's a kind way of saying that. Yeah.
You start things constantly.
Yes.
You're always into
Yes.
something new.
Yes.
And it must be hard to be able to like gauge that level of success in between all of those things because they don't measure the same metrics, right?
They definitely don't. And I guess serial entrepreneur. My husband would probably say completely insane sometimes because sometimes I'm just like, let's do that and that and that and that too.
So how many different like ventures right now are you part of?
Gosh, I'd have to actually sit and think. It's a really sad, pathetic number. Let's see. I've got Reset, which is my marketing consulting company. That's kind of like my main bread and butter. I like the butter word.
Butter with D's, no T's. Butter. Smooth as butter.
Smooth as butter. Yeah, I like that. Anyway, and then I have the boutique that I have, a little sassafras gypsy boutique. And then I have my wellness company. And then we have a farm that's we're restructuring all of that. Well, I technically have mine, and my husband technically has his, so that's kind of like two farms in one. Yeah.
What's the difference between the farms?
We did that like that on purpose because I was doing more of the like herbs and tinctures and making salves and doing these like classes in that area, and then he was doing more of like the grass-fed beef and the pasture chicken and that type of thing. So we kind of separated them just because of that, and I still do a little bit of that, and I blend some of it in with my wellness company. Like I'll teach a tincture class where I get the herbs from the farm and we teach it through the wellness company. So we do stuff like that. And I do enjoy that. That's kind of, I guess if you had to like list my passion projects, that's it. Because, I'm all for, wellness and just healthy living and, that type of thing. So that's kind of passion projects. And I have a 9-year-old that's autistic. That's kind of made that more of a passion, I guess, just to strive for health and wellness, just because you can really see a difference in him more than any of the kids. So, that's
with like the healthy eating.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's gone above and beyond on just the turnaround of where they said he would be, and it's not 100% because of his eating. That we've done lots of therapies, and I mean, he's in an amazing school in Ripley at St. Michael. They've just done wonders for him. But
it all paints a whole picture.
Yeah, it does. It completely does. Because, I mean, the old adage, you are what you eat. I mean, it sounds cliche, but literally we are. Yeah. I mean,
it's cliche for a reason.
It is, So if he gets into something that he's really is not good for his system, you can really tell it in him right away. Yeah. You can probably tell in the other kids they might be a little hyper. I mean, I'm sure you've seen kids and been around kids. It's like they eat sugar and it's like they're bouncing off the walls. Well, with him, you can literally see it. He has physical changes. He acts very kind of quote unquote autistic. Just can't make eye contact and flaps his hands. Very very much autistic symptoms come out if he has certain things. So anyway, so that's another project, and I do some things with special needs kids within my wellness company, like some hand drumming. And stuff like that, some yoga classes, little things like that, just to help in that area. Let's see, what else do we have? And I teach CPR and first aid on the side.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a fun fact.
So if I drop dead right now, you've got me?
I can save you.
Yeah?
Yeah, God's your back.
That's good to know. If I ever start choking to death, I'm good.
You're good. I teach that on the side. I have to stay certified with my wellness company anyway. It's so I can teach and stay certified instead of having to sit through the class.
That's legit.
So I do that. I do that on the side. What else do I do?
You got the bank.
I do. Yeah. I got the bank in Russellville. That's my passion project and the reason that my husband may jump off a bridge. We're getting there though. We are getting there. In the front lobby, we're putting a coffee and wine bar. That's not done yet, but because we're doing the work ourselves. We, as in he's doing the manual labor and I'm pointing. And I pretty much am like, hey, put that there and there and there. I got to go. Got some meetings.
I imagine you standing there with a hard hat and a clipboard though.
Yeah. No, I would get in there and work with him. I've worked construction.
I bet you have.
I actually have.
You've done a billion
I've
things.
done a billion things. I tell people I never really knew what I wanted to be when I grow up, and I refuse to grow up. So I'm just going to keep trying new things. And, that's the thing. I don't really think that's a bad thing. It might be because I'm defending myself, though.
You're just trying to defend your life
You know
choices.
what? It's completely fine. No, seriously, though, it's. I guess it kind of goes back to my personality, though, of when I'm in, I'm all in. You know, if I want to know something, I want to, know a lot about it. And when I want to know a lot about it, I'm like, I wonder how it would work if I did it like this, or did it like this, and did it like this. And I don't know, it just becomes a hobby. And my hobbies usually end up being something business related, just because it's like, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to make some money from it. You know?
You're not going to pay somebody to
yeah,
let you
exactly.
do a thing?
It's like any of my hobbies, like I teach self-defense classes because that was one of my hobbies, and now I do it. And I mean, I can retire on what I make from it, but some people go and pay, hundreds of dollars to go play golf, so I get paid to do my hobby. I do the same thing with the little bands that I sing with sometimes and stuff. So, I find things that I want to do, and I guess I am a serial business.
You 100% are.
Because I like butter. I just wanted to say butter again.
I mean, it's butter. It's
butter.
Yeah.
It's butter to say butter.
Ooh, butter.
Butter. Smooth like butter. All right. Anyway.
So, out of all of those things that you do, how do you define what is success out of that?
I guess you're going to have to ask me week by week on that, because it depends. Because back to, and I'm going to be straight up honest, there are some weeks I go home, I'm like, I'm done, I quit everything, like ugly cry. Because especially when you're super perfectionist like I am. I mean, I've had to tone it back because, let's face it, there's 0% chance that I'm going to be perfect with 1,000 businesses and 7 kids. But I still have that goal mindset of being there. And I have to pep talk myself all the time. I would tell you, if you were doing your best and you wasn't quite getting there, I'd be like, you know what? You're giving it your all. That's all you can do. I can sit and pep talk you with that all day long. But with myself, I have to, I will try and kill myself to get there. And then if I don't quite miss that mark, and even if I just barely missed it, I will beat myself up. And I'm like, I'm done. I quit. I'm moving to Costa Rica. I threatened to move to Costa Rica, Ireland. And then I found out they can't do a lot of stuff in Ireland. I was just really interested in it because of all the alcohol. I'm like, yeah, beer. Come on, Guinness. But, oh man, I'm breaking things now. So, yeah, good thing you all didn't see that. Anyway, I threaten that all the time because you get overwhelmed. And when I get overwhelmed, I'm just like, I quit, I run, I quit, But I don't actually.
So what do you do to stop?
I drink wine.
You make your own wine, though.
I do make my own wine. I don't have any ready right now. That's why I haven't brought you any. But as soon as I'm ready,
I want some.
I will bring some, I promise. But, yeah, I drink wine. I'm just like, okay, I need to just chill, relax. Drink
unwind for a minute.
Unwind.
Take
Yoga, I'm telling you, when I've always been in sports and fitness and stuff, and I've very much changed the way I do it. Instead of it just being like, oh, I'm going to run this many miles and go lift this much weight. I still lift weights. I don't run anymore because I actually absolutely hate it. I only ran because I thought I had to. Now that I've told myself I don't have to, it's not a necessary factor for health and fitness. I don't. That's freedom, folks. Anyway, I will do yoga, meditation. That has helped me more than anything. It helps me just literally center my mind and just breathing. And I know that sounds super goofy to people that haven't tried it, because I can remember making fun of people that did yoga when I was in MMA, and I was, and I was doing all the fitness classes and, training and stuff a lot.
You're just punching people in the face.
I would flat out make fun of people. I would be like, I'm going to be the tray. I mean, I actually did that. I would act it out. Let Mother Earth soak through your toes and out through your fingertips. Just be the tree. I would do that all the time. I made fun of it, and now I do it. So, yeah.
You are the tree now.
I'm the tree. I've become the tree, and so now I know all of life. I'm the tree. I'm the tree. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's wine.
Wine and yoga?
Yeah, wine and yoga.
And yoga.
Wine and yoga.
And coffee.
And I drink lots of coffee. And it doesn't make me hyper, probably because I'm already hyper. I was never really diagnosed hyperactive, probably because I wasn't flunking out of everything in school. I feel like that's the only reason kids a lot of times they're like,
otherwise they're like, man,
flunking.
this kid's just got a lot
Yeah, they're
of
like,
energy.
wow, you're amazing. But if you're like flunking everything, they're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You suck. Let's
there's
see
a
why.
problem here.
Yeah,
Let's
there's
fix
a problem. But no, I was doing fine. So it was like, I just like bounced off the walls and done
It's like
lots
a real,
of things.
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. If that ain't broke, don't fix it.
So what do you say to people that are starting businesses?
Well, I think if I had to do it all over when I started mine, I would take smaller steps. Because I am like full force, all in, which is good. And it's bad. Because I'm more like barrel forward without actually thinking about it in my own life. Now, again, I've helped other people start businesses, and I give them the right steps because it's a lot easier to give somebody, the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the steps they're supposed to do that you're expecting them to do. But me, myself, I'm just like looking at the finish line, and I'm just barreling there. And then I know with like some of my business stuff, I'd be like, oh yeah, I need to do that too. I should have done that like 2 months ago, type of thing. Like even with Reset, because I started out doing like my marketing stuff for myself, freelance. I EIN'd my name because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I EIN'd my name. So when I actually branded Reset and decided to go full force with like a real company, I didn't know nothing about HR. I had never worked HR. So I didn't really have to think about it until I started hiring people. I'm like, oh, onboarding. Let's see, what am I going to do with onboarding? Because I had no freaking clues. I'm like Googling what to do. I ended up having to hire a service to be able to do it because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with this stuff, because I had no idea. That was like, I had been in a manager type role where I'd hired and fired, so I got that down. But anything HR related, we would send to HR. So it would just be like if I had to fire somebody, which was sad, so don't write me letters. You'd have to fill out forms and actually, make
all
it
those
like,
HR
yeah.
type things.
So I could do that part. But as far as like, and I even had like, I knew to fill out, they needed to fill out W-2 forms if they were W-2 and 1099 if they were 1099. I knew that much. But just the processes, how to get across, okay, well, this is our workplace and this is the processes here. It was like this like blank space for the longest time.
You never had to do it.
I never had to do that.
So when you actually started bringing people on full time that you needed to do all those things
I was like running around like, oh my gosh, with my hair on fire, like, what am I going to do? So
did you bring in like an outside consultant?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I tell people that consultants should actually hire consultants because at a very basic level, what consultants are is they're the people that kind of find the typos in life. And I explain it like, if you've ever typed up a paper and you read it and you're like, yes, this is it. It's on point. And you hand it to your friend. They're like, okay, typo. You're not going to see it because you're too close to it. And that's how we are with our own business or even our own life for that matter, is that you've got to, take a step back and you got to have a fresh set of eyes to kind of find the typos in whatever you're doing. And really, it's not that different from when I was training. And I know it sounds like it's like worlds apart. And I mean, I still train every once in a while here and there, but not like I used to. But it's really not that different because even then, you're trying to find the typos. Like, why are they not getting the strength they want? Why are they not getting the speed they want? You got to figure out, where that little bit of a disconnection is and fix it. So it's a lot harder to do that for yourself. So yeah, I'm a big believer in bringing other people in to say, okay, I'm too close to this. Even with this project, that's how you ended up.
That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. Because I said what? I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I help other people do this stuff.
And it's like, no, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I feel it.
So that's it. When you're too close to something, sometimes you can't really see what you want out of it. So you have to have somebody else say, here's what you need,
I'm the rage, they exclamated. LA Times, I stay on page 6. I'm even your favorite's favorite.